Welcome back, friends. Today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to install hair tinsel. Before we go to a regular scalp, we are going to pretend that that is your client's scalp right there at the end of this string. So when I do it with the regular tinsel, it's a little harder to see, so I wanted to give you a larger version. We are going to pretend that this white string is tinsel and that brown thread is like a few strands of your client's hair. So first, you are going to make a loop on your tinsel. Make sure that the ends are the same length and make a little loop right there. I like to hold it in my non-dominant hand. So after that loop is in your non-dominant hand, make sure that your pointer finger and your thumb can fit through it, all right? So pointer finger and thumb through the loop. You're gonna grab the other end of those 2 strings and then pull the loop to the other side, wrapping it around one of your fingers, pull tight, and we have our knot. I'm gonna do it one more time. So loop in your non-dominant hand, making sure that your thumb and your pointer finger can fit through it. Grab those 2 strands of tinsel and then grab the other 2, oh, there's my cat in the way, the other 2 sides of the loop and pull it tight after you, there you go, see the other 2 ends, pull tight, and we have our loop right there. So next step, you're going to grab like 3 to 5 strands of your client's hair. You're gonna open up that loop a little bit with your dominant hand, your pointer finger and your thumb. You're going to grab those hairs on your client's head, pull it through the loop, and then grab those 2 ends and tighten, holding the hair in one hand and the tinsel in the other, nice and tight to the scalp. Then you're going to grab one of the pieces of tinsel, you have 2 there, it's going to join with your client's hair. So now you have tinsel and hair in one hand and just tinsel in the other, and we're gonna do just a regular knot here. And then pull it nice and tight to your client's scalp. Then you're going to drop the hair and just take your tinsel and do another regular knot with your tinsel, just like this. But this is a lot easier to see than the regular tinsel, and I am such a visual person, so this really helps me. 2 knots, nice and tight, and that is how you install the tie version. So first, I'm gonna show you the tape version. So this is single-sided tape. Make sure it is single-sided for tape and extensions, not double-sided. Stick the tinsel on there. Normally, I would cut it off before I put it in her head, but we were kind of running late. I'll show you on the other one. I regretted it as soon as I put it in, but here is that single-sided tape with the tinsel inside of it. Grab a little slice of hair, and then you're just going to close that tape. And then if you didn't cut those tinsel tips off before you put it in like me, then after you close it nice and tight, you'll just grab some scissors and cut those loose ends of tinsel off. No big deal. But there is our first one. That's gonna give you maximum tinsel effect because you can put a ton of tinsel in that little piece of tape. Now, this one is gonna be a beaded method. You can use quite a few pieces of tinsel. So you just wanna grab your small strand of hair. This one's gonna be a little smaller than your tape-in section, obviously, about the width of your bead. And use your looper tool to get that bead into the hair. I always have my client tilt their head a little bit so the bead doesn't slip. Grab your tinsel. Make sure the ends are even, and we're gonna make another loop here in our non-dominant hand. Take my hook tool. This is just a little hook on the end. It's gonna grab that tinsel, and then I am gonna just pull that hook through the bead, and all that tinsel is gonna pull through it. Then I'm gonna grab my pliers and clamp that shut. And of course, we don't want to leave a hook little loop right there, so we are just going to clip that off with some shears. All right, and finally, we are going to do the tie method now. So we have a maximum effect, a medium effect, and then this one, you can only really do one piece of tinsel, but look at how gorgeous that is. So it just really depends. You can do all three different versions through the head, but whatever floats your boat. So first, we are gonna make sure that the ends match up on our little piece of tinsel. Go down to the bottom. And we need to create our loop, remember, with the white string. So we have our loop, and like I said, it's a lot harder to see, but I'm gonna try to show you. We have our 2 fingers through the loop. We are gonna grab the tinsel. Now we are gonna take those other 2 sides of the loop with the non-dominant hand, put it around my middle finger and tight. There is our knot right there. So now we are going to take this over to her hair. We are going to grab our little tiny piece, probably like 4 strands, tie it down tight. And now this is the part where I am going to get 1 piece of tinsel with the hair and 1 piece of tinsel without hair. And we are just going to do a regular knot. There we go. And if it slips, just pull it right back down. I also like to use a texture spray sometimes because when the hair is clean, it's so soft that it slips really easily. So if you put a little texture spray, it will help it from slipping. And then after we do our knot, here we go. We've got our piece with hair and we've got our tinsel. We are just going to make a little knot there. Hit my camera. Pull that tinsel through and then tie it right to their scalp. Now, this is the part where you drop her piece of hair and you're just going to tie the 2 tinsel strands together in a regular knot. And you can do a double knot if you want to help keep it tighter, but there's our little knot with just the 2 tinsel strands. So let's do this again. Here's our tape. We are going to put tinsel all on one side of the single-sided tape. Nice and flat down. You don't want to touch the tape too much with your fingers, but just enough to get it in there. And then I cut those remainders off the top this time. And put that tape down on our slice of hair. Fold it shut. And then just make sure that you're really clamping it. It's not sticky on the outside because it's only a single-sided tape, and this is gonna stay in there. So you can get that max effect with the tapes. Beautiful. Now, one more time, I am going to show you the beaded technique, and I will show you the tie technique one more time. So for our bead, we're gonna grab that little piece of hair that's about the width of the bead, pull it up to her scalp, tilt her head back a little bit. Then we are going to grab our tinsel, make a nice loop in our non-dominant hand, right there. We are going to take our hook tool, put it through the bead, grab that little loop of tinsel, and then pull it right through the bead. Now we are going to clamp that with pliers. Make sure it's nice and secured. Then just have to cut our little loop of tinsel off the top so it doesn't get caught while she's brushing her hair or running her fingers through. And there we have it for our max effect and medium effect. And now we're going to do one more tie. Again, I made my loop in my non-dominant hand, pulled it through with my pointer finger and my thumb, and tied my knot tight. Now we are going to put our fingers through and get our little section. It can be really hard when you're working with such tiny little things. Pull the hair through and tie that tight. Just have to pull it. And now that piece is secured. And same thing, you are just going to grab one strand of tinsel and add it to your little section of hair. And you're going to have the other hand is just tinsel, and like before, just a regular knot with the hair and tinsel in one hand and tinsel in the other. But I was trying to go slow, and it's a lot harder to do something going slow for the camera. I feel like I kept dropping the pieces of tinsel and hair, but tying it nice and tight, and gonna pull around, pull through, grab that little piece of tinsel. There it's coming. And pull it nice and tight. And like I said, you can do a couple knots with the tinsel just to make sure that it really stays in there. To be honest, I rarely use the tie method. I much prefer to do the bead method or the tape-in method. I probably do the bead method the most, but it is good when you're right on a hairline and you don't want it to be visible because you can't even see where that piece is. And now let's get her reaction to her new tinsel.
Wow.
It's so pretty. See, now you have to figure out Coachella.
I love it. I know. How fun.
So there you have it, 3 different ways to install hair tinsel. I hope this video helped some of you out and made you want to go buy some hair tinsel and try it out. Hope you have fun, and I will see you next Monday for another educational video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Bye.